الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الحمد لله عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته ومنتهى علمه وجميع ما شاء وخلق وذرى وبرى عالم الغيب والشهادة الرحمن الرحيم المالك القدوس العزيز الحكيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون أما بعد فيقول الله تعالى في سورة القصص طاسيم تلك آيات الكتاب المبين نتلو عليك من نبأ موسى وفرعون بالحق لقوم يؤمنون إن فرعون علا في الأرض وجعل أهلها شيعا يستضعف طائفة منهم يذبح أبناءهم ويستحيي نساءهم إنه كان من المفسدين ونريد أن نمن على الذين استضعفوا في الأرض ونجعلهم أئمة ونجعلهم الوارثين ونمكن لهم في الأرض ونري فرعون وهامان وجنودهما منهم ما كانوا يحذرون صدق الله العظيم. Alhamdulillah, we praise and we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for blessing us with another Jumu'ah, another day of gathering. We bless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for having blessed us with having completed Shahr Ramadan, the fast of Ramadan. You know, alhamdulillah, you know, in my mind I was preparing for one topic for Jumu'ah, for today's Khutbah. But you know, sometimes things happen that if you don't talk about it, at least in my opinion, if I act like the situation didn't happen, I don't need to be standing up here. And I want to put in context the thing that has happened, the thing that you cannot ignore, which is the killing of a black man named George Floyd in Minneapolis. He came out of the store, the police was called on him. I'm not sure what he allegedly did or supposedly had did. Early on, I heard reports that he tried to use counterfeit money or some frivolous nonsense like that. In any case, the police were called, and by the time everything was said and done with, George Floyd was dead. The police had him on the ground. He was already handcuffed long before that. They had his knee on his neck, and the knee stayed on the neck until he died. And they're focusing on one police officer who actually had his knee on his neck, but all four of the police officers were guilty. Because, for example, and this is Islamic law as well as this law, if you go in the store and rob the store and come out and jump in my car and I drive you away and the police catch us, I'm getting charged with that too, because I helped you. I drove the getaway car. Likewise, all of those officers are guilty of murder. But I don't want you to look at this thing in an isolated context, or just him, or the names that we've known. This thing is systematic. This thing is organized, even though they try to make it appear as if it's not organized, it's just random, it's haphazard. It's not random, and it's not haphazard. It's systemized. The system is working the way it was designed to work. And we know this because the system is patterned off a Fir'aun system. We are living in Minhaj Fir'auniyah, the Pharaohic methodology. The social engineers engineered this society and all of the modern societies based upon Fir'aun's methodology. And the few verses that we read kind of summarize that methodology. See, as Muslims, ud-Deen, the way of life that we have, or for lack of better words, and it's not the best word, but the religion that we practice, it doesn't give us the luxury of getting in the cocoon and burying our heads in the sand and being oblivious to what's going on around us. No, Islam teaches us how to navigate. It teaches us not only the what, but it teaches us the why. So I want to remind you all of the why. In Surah Qasas, this is chapter number 28 of the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He begins by saying, Ta, Sin, Mim. These are huruf muqatta'a. These are the broken letters. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what they mean in this particular verse. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, these are the verses of the book that makes things clear. See, the Quran is just not a book that we read when we just want to feel good. The Quran is also an instruction manual. It's also a history book. It's all of that in one. It's not just one. It's not only a book that, okay, I want to get closer to God. Yes, it has that, but it's not only that. The Quran is a living miracle. Whenever you look up the list of the miracles of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, miracle number 1, Al-Quran. Before you get to the splitting of the moon, before you get to him sallallahu alaihi wasallam putting the eye of a man back in its socket, before you get to the miracle of the lizard talking to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in clear Arabic, before you get to all of that, the number 1 miracle is Al-Quran. So we should not overlook this miracle. The Quran is a part of the way that it's miraculous is that it was revealed to the heart of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam over 1400 years ago, but its meaning and its relevance is still unfolding. They have written books about the scientific miracles of the Quran. There are things that science just discovered a few decades ago that have been described in clear detail in this Quran. Some of these things, no human being could have known these things until they invented the microscope, for example. What is described in the Quran, clear as day. So don't sleep on the Quran. Don't sleep on the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the name of Fir'aun 74 times in the Quran. See, a lot of times when we read books, we know that human beings, people that author books, there's going to be mistakes in the book. There's going to be fluff, fillers, things that make the book thicker, things that are irrelevant to the story. The Quran is not like that. Every letter is relevant. Every fatha, dhamma, kesra is relevant. The order of the words are important. If you understand the Arabic language and you know normal sentence structure, sometimes you read the Quran and the words don't go according to normal sentence structure. Allah's trying to tell you something. So don't look at the Quran as just some regular other book. Allah says, "Natlu alayka min naba'i Musa." We relate to you the stories of Prophet Musa and Fir'aun, the truth for the people, for the sake of the believers, the people who believe. And then he said, "Verily, Fir'aun became arrogant on the earth." Fir'aun, he's the archetype, he's the blueprint, he's the pattern of oppressive leadership. And there's so many surahs in Quran where this story is mentioned. In my current reading, I just finished reading past Surah A'raf, chapter number 7, the height. A large portion of Surah A'raf is dedicated to this story. We just happen to be reading from Surah Qasas, 28 right now. But Surah Baqarah is mentioned. Surah A'raf is mentioned. Surah Taha, Surah Ghafir, Surah number 40. So many times over and over, this topic is being mentioned. Why is it that Muslims are not experts on this topic? Allah is telling you over and over and over again in the Quran. Musa, Fir'aun, Fir'aun, Musa, Bani Israel. You don't get it? Fir'aun, Musa been going long before Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's time. Why Fir'aun mentioned in the Quran 74 times by name? Why Prophet Musa 136 times in the Quran by name? Why? You don't get it? Even the Christians, they have what they call, it just slipped my mind, it just on the tip of my tongue, where they have liberation theology. That's what it is. Liberation theology, where the Christians use their scripture to map a way out from oppression. And the foundation of their theology is this story from their perspective that we're talking about right now. Moses, Pharaoh, Bani Israel. Muslims, we have the Quran, we don't know what to do with it. It's like someone gave you purchased something, maybe some furniture, and you're like, man, I don't know how to put this thing together. And the instruction manual is sitting right there. And in the instruction manual, it says if it's not clear, you can go to such and such website and look at an instructional video. And you're still sitting there, I don't know what to do. It's right here. All we have to do is read it, understand it, and implement it. It's the living miracle. It says, Fir'aun became arrogant in the earth, وَجَعَلَ أَحْلَهَا شِيَعًا. And he divided its people into sects. Division. That's why division is poison. That's why division is a theme often addressed in the Quran and throughout the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In order for this thing to work, you got to be denied. You got to be divided. That's the only way for it to work. As long as you are united, the system won't work. You can't miss that. Allah mentioned that before he got to the other part. that you see. Before he got to the brutality, he divided them into sects. You need that. Hope you don't miss that. You need that. That's why anytime you have animosity in your heart against your own people or your Muslim brother, you are part of the problem. I'm not talking about if someone did something wrong to you. Address the problem. Don't let it simmer. Address it. And when you address it in-house. Only those who need to be concerned. Because we also know that part of the Fir'aunic methodology is to capitalize on your divisions. So we're human beings. Divisions are going to happen. There's no place you can go. There's no institution you can join. There's no masjid. There's no tariqah. There's no Jamaa'ah that you can join. And in those organizations, they're not going to be divisions. No, we're not angels. We're human beings. Somebody's going to step on someone's toes. Someone's going to say something, whether they meant to or not, and it's going to offend someone else. But the key to it is to deal with it in-house. See, it's like the Muslims in Spain. Every Amir had their little dominion, had his little kingdom. And how they did the Reconquista, how the Europeans took over Al-Andalus, Spain and Portugal back from the Muslims, is that the Muslims are so stupid fighting each other. King Ferdinand, Queen Isabella, they would pick a side. Hey, see you fighting against that king over there. We got your back. We ride with you. And then they would side with them, Muslims, Christians, fighting Muslims. When that Muslim get defeated, then the Christians would turn on the Muslims that they were allied with. Allah says, travel in the earth and see what was the outcome of those who came before you. Got all this Islamic history, a plethora of it sitting in front of you, and we still don't get it. One of our brothers from this basket, he posted on his Facebook post, I saw it before I came here, he said, a lot of us, we're still woke, but I forgot how he worded it, he said, we may be up, but we still groggy. You know, the terminology is, we woke, like we're conscious, right? Yeah, some of us are woke and conscious, but we're still groggy. The soul ain't all the way back into our body yet. We're standing up, we're awake, we recognize some things is going on, but maybe our eyes still got mucus in it, we just all just discombobulated. Yeah, some of us are woke, but we just discombobulated, a lot of us. And we have not only the answer to our problems, but we got the cause of the problems and all of the intricacies, and even we know what the intention of the oppressor is, spelled out right here in front of us. And we just holding the book. And some of us didn't even recite it during the month of Ramadan. And some of us that did recite it during the month of Ramadan, we put it back on the shelf, and it's going to have an inch worth of dust on it until next Ramadan, if we make it to live that long. Because you could be the next one with a knee on your back, not caring. A knee on your neck, not caring. Our family members could be asleep right now. They ain't got nothing to do with me. That's over there. But then when you or I get killed, now they woke. Why is nobody helping? Why is nobody supporting? Same reason why you wasn't supporting when it was the next man. Why is the Muslim organizations quiet? They don't care. I'm telling you right now, they don't care. Some Muslim organizations are just as racist as the police that's killing us. They don't care. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I know it's being recorded. It's true. When you love somebody, you don't have to prod them and try to embarrass them and try to make them say something. They already stand up. Allah said, He made them into sects. And he oppressed a group from amongst them. He oppressed a group from amongst them. The way these things work is that when you have a society like this Pharaonic society, there's one group of people that is designated persona non grata. In other words, this is the low man on the totem pole. This is the one that we treat worse than animals. And during this time, it was the children of Israel, Bani Israel. And during this time, black people. In this country, it's the so-called African American. Worldwide, it's black people in general. Black people in general, and then every group has subcategories. So, you know, black people in general, but in that general category, African Americans, bottom of the barrel. Because even some black people don't like African Americans. And that's the reality behind it. That's the way Pharaoh set it up. Y'all don't like it, it's the truth. Some of y'all don't like the truth. Y'all want a voodoo khutbah. See, when you make the voodoo and the water's running off your arm, you know, the water drips off, that's your sins disappearing. MashaAllah, I feel so good. Hallelujah. I mean, it's up there. Oh, this is what y'all want. Islam, yeah, we do the voodoo in class. Come to class for that. But after you come out of class, you have to step into the world. You can't escape. A lot of you use Islam as a way to escape reality. No, Islam teaches you how to maneuver and live in reality. A lot of us, we know to do it by heart. Give us the best for dunya, wa fil akhirah. In this life as well as the next life. Some of y'all forgot the dunya. You have to live here. Your akhirah is dependent on what you do here. Your hereafter is dependent on how you act here. I don't care what country you're from. This is a Pharaonic minhaj. I don't care if you're in any of the Spanish-speaking South American or Caribbean countries. Even in their countries, if you take African Americans out the picture and you take the people in those countries, the lighter, the better. The darker, the more oppressed. You go to the Desi people, the Indian subcontinent, the lighter, the better. The darker, the more oppressed. It don't matter where you go. Same thing, everywhere. It's the Pharaonic methodology. Allah's spelling it out for you in the Quran. Every society has a designated people. They are there for exploitation, and they are there for your upliftment. They are a source of benefit for everyone else except themselves. You can come and set up stores in their neighborhood, and we all benefit, but they won't. So every country has this group that's oppressed. Pharaonic methodology, straight from the textbook. وَيُذَبِّحُ أَبْنَاءَهُم. And we sacrifice their boys. We sacrifice their boys. يُذَبِّحُ أَبْنَاءَهُم. This is significant. يَسْتَحْيِي نِسَاءَهُم. And let their women live. Verily, he was from amongst those who are corrupt. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. وَقُولُوا قَوْلًا هَذَا وَاسْتَغْفِرُوا اللَّهَ لِي وَلَكُمْ وَلِسَائِرِ الْمُسْلِمِينَ وَاسْتَغْفِرُوهُ إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa afdalu salatu wa atamu tasneem ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een, wa radiyallahu ta'ala an sadat al-tabi'een wa ulama al-amalin wa a'immat al-arba'at al-mujtahideen wa muqallidihim ila yawm al-din. Amma ba'd. I stopped right there in my reading because I want to talk more about the why. See, when you understand the history or the why, then you would know how to act. And you wouldn't waste your time doing certain things. You wouldn't waste your time doing certain things if you know why. See, these things are mentioned in the Quran in several places. But why did Pharaoh, do all of this? Did he just say, hey, we want to do some evil. Hey, let's just start killing the minority group in our country? No, it didn't happen that way. Pharaoh had a dream. Pharaoh had a dream. And in this dream, all of the houses of the Egyptians was on fire. And so he told the people around him his dream and wanted an interpretation of the dream. The interpretation that he was given was that there's going to be a young man from these people, Bani Israel, who's going to emerge from amongst them, and they're going to overthrow or change the status quo. They're going to start killing us, they're going to take over the land, and they're going to inherit this earth, this land of Egypt. And so, Pharaoh, after that, that's when they made the policy. So there was a reason, there was a psychology, there was a motive behind this oppressive system. It wasn't oppression just because of oppression. They felt that somebody was going to come to destroy the society as they know it and throw out the ruling class. Pay attention. It's not just history. So they said, okay. So they're going to have a leader. They're going to have a boy that's going to grow up amongst them. All right, we just kill all the boys. We'll let the women live, but we'll kill all the boys. So they started, every time a woman would become pregnant from amongst the children of Israel, they would watch her. And then when she gave birth, if it was a boy, they would kill the boy. Soldiers will come, take the boy child away and kill him. That's what they would do. Pharaoh, remember, it's systematic. Things evolve. Just think of a soldier, people, secret police watching for pregnant women from children of Israel. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of overhead. It evolved. They developed a group of people amongst Bani Israel who were like traitors. They did the work for Pharaoh. And Allah mentions that in the verse. We didn't get to it yet. Where, number one, they didn't have to have soldiers watching for women who were pregnant. The wet nurses were deputized. So the same one that's helping you, we call it now the doula, the same doula that's helping you deliver the baby is going to be the one that kills the baby if it's a boy. I'm giving you the history which led to the situations that Allah is talking about in the Quran. They enslaved Bani Israel. That's part of what is meant when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and they oppressed a group from amongst them. They turned them from free citizens into slaves. So they have a slave population, and now they started killing all of the boys from the slave population. Naturally, with a system like this, you're going to lose your slave population. So they changed their laws, they amended their constitution, and said that every other year, we're going to kill the boys born from Bani Israel. So in 1 year, we'll let all the boys live. Then the next year, we'll kill all the boys that are born. Prophet Harun, the brother of Musa, was born during a year wherein they were letting the boys live. Prophet Musa, alayhi salam, was born during a year where they were killing boys. That's why if you read further on, Allah sent inspiration to the mother of Moses that if you fear, when you fear for your, nurse your child, and when you fear for your child, put them in a box and put the box on the river. She did. That's the background to all of this. So you know the why. We said this is a pharaonic society. Why are they just killing people? Maybe they don't know. Maybe they need more police training. Well, what about the ones doing it as not police? Why are they doing this? Maybe if we just prove to them that we're human beings, they already know that. There's a reason behind it. You know, we use the term white supremacy because that's what the founders of this country used. White supremacy is a religion. And it seeks, it's like these sci-fi movies. When it comes in contact with that thing, it controls it and it takes the form of that thing. White supremacy got in contact with Christianity. That's why Christianity was used to enslave Africans on the continent. And it was even seen as a praiseworthy thing if the person you enslaved was a Muslim, because he was a heathen. The same thing they're trying to do with Islam now. They're trying to erase all the thousands of black Sahaba out of their history. White supremacy, that's what it does. When you listen to their rhetoric, they tell you their mythology is that the earth can only support such and such amount of people. And the white population is at 0 birth rate. And all of these dark people, they keep having babies. So we have to reduce the world's population. This is what they're talking about. And since this pandemic came about, it's open now. Everybody's talking about it. This is their agenda. That's why people are talking against vaccines, because they know what it's for. Even they can't even legally deny that vaccines cause autism, because they just lost a lawsuit. So they can't run that game that, oh, the mercury that's in the vaccine, that we changed the name of it, but it's still mercury. We can't deny that it causes autism anymore. She meant, why are they doing this? It just doesn't make sense. I just gave you the reason. According to their religion, according to their philosophy, the earth, there's too many people on it. And it's not enough of us on that planet. And so we have to reduce the population of certain people. And you know who the certain people is. That's the reason. That's why you sit and waste your time trying to prove to them that you're a human is a waste of time. Trying to appeal to the morality and the... Are you serious? You haven't figured it out yet? You don't know how diabolical some of these people are. Some of them are straight up cannibals. You think this brother's tripping, he's a little bit angry. I'm serious. Some of these some of them used to eat your ancestors. Eat, E-A-T, eat, dine, feast. Yes. A lot of you people think lynching is just when you hang someone and then you cut off parts of their body. No. George Floyd, he was lynched. He was lynched. But they used to eat, y'all don't understand how deep and shaitanic this thing is. They used to lynch us back in the day and bring your body parts back home and put it on their mantelpiece. They used to take pictures next to your private parts and next to, let me get a finger. Like, I'm serious. I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I'm not being like, blowing it out of proportion. They've even written books about it. Read the book, The Delectable Negro. This is part of the history that a lot of Muslim leaders ain't going to tell you. And some of them don't care about it. Because they're part of the problem. They're the third wheel in there. They're the buffer group to take the attention off of the real criminal. That's the reason reason why. Once you understand the reason why, then stuff starts to make sense. So that's why they were killing the boys and letting the women live. You know, female genital mutilation got started around that time by Fir'aun, according to many scholars. That's part of the reason why. And then Allah says, and we wish to do a favor to those who are oppressed in the earth. Whoa, wait a minute. This oppressed group, you wish to favor them? Yeah. You know, in many places in the Quran where Allah just mentions this, in Surah Baqarah, Surah A'raf, and many other places, it's amazing. Allah describes this, what we're talking about now, bala'un, right? Tribulation, serious problem, a bala'un. Min Allah, from Allah. Yeah. Min Rabbik, from your Lord. Yeah. These people are not more powerful than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah allowed these things to happen. For what reason? To make them leaders and to make them inheritors. Allah says to make them inheritors. Ain't that what Pharaoh was worried about in the first place? Why he started all that? The system that they put in place to decimate them was designed to stop something. But they didn't realize that Allah's plan was inside of their plan. They helped protect Moses. Musa grew up in the house of Pharaoh. A lot of times we don't get this. A lot of us been asleep. And if they were smart, they would have leave us alone to continue sleeping. Let us continue killing ourselves. Let us continue poisoning our body. Let us continue doing all of this stuff. But this stuff just wake people up more. Just like during the time of the Prophet ﷺ. They would go out, hey, don't listen to that guy. He's crazy. He's a sorcerer. He's a soothsayer. People would be like, who are you talking about? Oh, Muhammad? Man, let me go listen to what he's talking about. Since you telling me not to listen to him, let me go listen to him to see what's going on. وَنُمَكِّنَ لَهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ, and to establish them in the earth. وَنُرِيَ فِرْعَوْنَ وَهَامَانَ وَجُنُودَهُمَا مِنْهُمْ مَا كَانُوا يَحْذَرُونَ. And we wish to show Fir'aun and Haman. Haman is their assistant. وَجُنُودُهُمَا مِنْهُمْ, subhanallah. And their forces from among them. Those of you who know Arabic, وَجُنُودُهُمَا shows you who is possessing these forces. Fir'aun and Haman. It's a dual pronoun. Minhum, from them. Why did Allah say from them? What? From the Egyptians? No, from Bani Israel. Those were the Coons and the Uncle Toms and those people from Bani Israel, those wet nurses. Those people like Qarun, who's also mentioned in the Quran, that had all that money from Bani Israel. But guess who he down with? Fir'aun. Allah addresses that right in the Quran. You don't understand the psychology. Allah tells you the psychology is right here. All you have to do is read it. Wish to show them what they fear the most. So all we have to do is follow the instructions. All we have to do is know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in control. All we have to do is, I was reading Surah A'raf, verse number 128. Moses said to his people, he said, وَاسْتَعِينُهُ وَاسْبِرُوا, and be consistent and be patient. And in the translation I was reading, it said wait in parentheses. Patience, sabr in Arabic don't mean wait. Sabr in Arabic means like to be steadfast. Continue doing what you're doing. Continue obeying Allah, obeying the messenger, standing up for the truth. Even when the results don't manifest right away, you keep doing it. It don't mean like wait and sit and do nothing. It don't mean that. So I just wanted to put what's going on into a context. That's the reasoning behind what's going on. It's not haphazard, it's systematic. And don't let people divert you with insignificant or secondary argument points. Oh, they're burning down the city of Minneapolis. Looting doesn't justify, hold on, wait a minute. If looting is a crime, the criminal is the police who killed George Floyd. That's the criminal, because the looting is a result of what happened. Yes, the looting is a result of that. Again, if you do a crime, and I do a crime as a result of that, and then when you look at videos, and that's why they're trying to clamp down on social media, a lot of the people that's doing the looting and breaking the windows ain't even black. They take black people to black, a lot of people, that some of them, yeah. But it's clear video, people doing it, they're not black. Allah has given us the blueprint. Allah has given us the map. He not only told us how, He told us what, He told us why, and He taught us the way forward. Taught us the way forward. And I spent too much time on other things, and I didn't really get the chance to talk about the way forward. But I will say in summary that Musa, alayhi salatu wasalam, Prophet Moses, peace and blessings be upon him, he showed the way forward. Part of the way forward is that you gotta represent. You have to be organized, and you have to have leadership. Moses didn't become the leader of Bani Israel after the Red Sea was parted. Moses was the leader of Bani Israel in Egypt under Pharaoh. Moses said, and it's mentioned in the Quran, "Let my people go." When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent all of these plagues and famine and locusts onto them, they would go to Moses, "Yo, pray to your Lord that He'll let this up." Then Allah will let it up, and then they will go back to oppressing again. Then they will promise Moses, "Man, listen, just pray to Allah one more time, and if you do this for us, we'll let the children of Israel go with you." Us, we're not organized, we don't have no leaders, and we're not making no demand. So that's something to think about. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adhaban nar.